Hi, I'm Phil Anderson and I'm running for United States Senate to represent Wisconsin. One of the big things in the news the last couple of days is a situation in Oregon where there's been a dispute between the Bureau of Land Management, created in 1976, over some land with ranchers who've been there a lot longer, but who of course are at least somewhat subject to the federal government. The dispute is over who owns the land. My question would be, can government actually own land in the first place? It's not really a person or a corporation, but that's a subject for another time. But what is on my mind is that when people look at situations like this, you shouldn't assume that it's always going to be someone else that's in this sort of trouble. There's government overreach and abuse going on around you every day. One of the big things going on right now is a Netflix show about a gross miscarriage of justice that happened right here in Wisconsin, involving a gentleman who was accused of rape, who spent 18 years in prison, who was found later to be innocent, and all the controversy surrounding that, and the very, very poor job that the county sheriff and the district attorney's office and the public defender did in actually prosecuting justice in this case. But still, even smaller than that, there are things that happen every single day. It might be eminent domain. Maybe a business you own or somebody you know owns is being condemned so it can be closed so that the government can help some private developer put up something that they would rather have there anyway. Now, one might argue that that's more for the common good, but the common good does not trump an individual's right to their own property. It could be something like a civil forfeiture as well, which fortunately we have laws against in Wisconsin, but in other states, it's possible for the police, if they pull you over or search your house or whatever, that they can take things, money, valuables, and keep them even before you've been charged with a crime, or even if you've never been convicted of a crime, and they keep them forever and ever. That's the law in some states, sadly. So there's lots of different ways that you can get, as Donald Trump put it, schlonged by the government. And those are just a couple. It could be just the injustice of having to get a license for something and having to swim through tons of bureaucratic red tape to get some government employee who's not motivated by free market principles to try and do their job in the first place. I'm sure we've all had this experience with the DOT and the DMV. That's sort of one of the legendary places of gross incompetence and slowness of getting things done. But it could be anything. It could be a situation you might have with a teacher in school, or with a parking ticket, or with a police officer, or anything. The government at every level does things every day that is unjust and beyond what the scope of what they should be doing, and has gone beyond a service to the public into doing things that preserve its own power, its own political influence, and please its political masters. And I'm pretty sure if you investigate what's going on in your local news, or things that have happened in your life to you or your family, that you'll find situations like that. So don't think it always happens to someone else, because it doesn't. It's happening all around us. And that's an important reason why we need to get a proper perspective of government, that government only has its authority derived from the consent of the governed, and that they really should be serving us. They're our representatives, not just some authoritarian power figure or group that derives its authority by a majority rule. So keep that in mind as you're looking at the situations around you. Thanks for listening, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.